Yo, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. Thank y'all for clicking on the video. First and foremost, I want to give a quick shout out to everyone that's been subscribing to the channel, showing so much love. I can't believe we are almost at 3,000 subscribers. I took a year off on this particular channel and came back with 500 subscribers, and to be almost at 3,000 subscribers in less than 2 months is definitely something that should not go unnoticed, and I definitely want to thank each and every one of y'all for showing so much support. But anywho, let's get into the video. Alright, so y'all been asking me for the last couple of days to speak about Larry Reid, to give my commentary on what's been going on the last couple of weeks, right? Now, I purposely took a couple of days off just to give myself a break, because talking about Larry Reid triggers the hell out of me. In all honesty, I just feel like this situation with Larry Reid is going to blow over, and people are going to go back to their normal lives, and they're going to move on to the next big thing, the next scandal. Like right now, everybody's been talking about Diddy and this whole situation with the accuser, which honestly, there are some holes in that story, but that's a whole nother video for another day. People are they're gonna move on with this situation with Larry Reid, even though this man has consistently incriminated himself. He has made his own admissions about his dealings with people that he's dealt with. He's admitted that he's had same-sex relationships and situations with people that's been involved in this particular scandal. And it's just unfortunate. It's very obvious that Larry Reid is a narcissist, right? And he just have to control the narrative. It was interesting because last week he was on vacation with his daughters and Lamarco in Mexico. And you would think, if you're on vacation, you would think that you would just go away, and just stay away from social media, stay away from work, and just enjoy your family. But even in him being in Mexico, he just could not stay away. He basically spoke about the interview with Lester and how he talked about the situation with Vincent, and Vincent coming out and speaking his truth. And he felt like Vincent was just he didn't understand why Vincent decided to air him out like that. Like, he felt like that was supposed to be their personal business. He was acting as if he did not understand why Vincent did what he did. And in the midst of all of that, he was bragging about how he made so much money, in the midst of this scandal. I believe he said that one lady sent him $10,000, and I just remember, I just shook my head, because I do know there are people out here that was giving this man their last, because they really do believe that in sowing a seed with Larry, that they're going to get a blessing out of that. And it disturbs me, because I just feel like with $10,000, there's so much you could have done for yourself, for your family, for your neighborhood, for the local church, the school, whatever. But you decided to give this man, who is obviously not a man of God. He's a false prophet. It's what it is. But for whatever reason, people are under this spell of idolatry and witchcraft. They've bought into his narcissism, and they really do believe this man is the man of God. And it's so sad, and it's so wicked, and it's so scary. But it does say in the Bible that people are going to view good as evil and view evil as good in our last days. It's in Revelations, and we're seeing this play out. And it's not just Larry Reid. We saw this with Bishop Eddie Long. We've seen this with countless false prophets and pastors in the church. And unfortunately, that's just how it is. And it's so, when I make these types of videos, when I'm talking about Larry Reid, I'm not just talking about it because I'm getting clicks and views on the videos. I'm talking about it because I really want justice for Levante. I really want justice for the victims that's been affected with dealing with Larry Reid and the stuff that he's been able to get away with. you know, because he's been playing in God's faith for a very long time. But I will say this though, you can only get away with something for so long, right? Before God put his hands on it. And I do believe that God is going to get the final victory in all of this. I really do believe this. I don't think Larry's going to be able to escape this time around, you know. And it's interesting because, you know, I made a video about Larry Reid and Monroe and Armon, how they did the sit down, right? This time last year. Well, it's been a couple months and a year since they sat down and they did the round table, right? And you know, I asked in the video, like, you know, how come Monroe or Armon, how come they have not covered this particular story when it came to Larry Reid? You know, you would think, as salacious as it is, you know, Monroe would at least made, you know, spoke on it or gave his opinion or commentary on what's been going on. And they've been radio silent. Even as of recently, you know, Armon did an interview with Monroe. As you guys know, Armon is auditioning to, you know, get on the Fox Soul platform, and he's going to be replacing Funky Dineva, who has given him his blessing, and which I think is a great fit. I think I actually think both Monroe and Armon would do very well on that particular show. But right now, Armon is in the running of replacing Funky Dineva. He's on his second week. But anywho, they did an interview, and from what I saw, you know, they did not mention anything about Larry Reid. And I think, in my humble opinion, the reason why they're not really covering this story, A, is because they're not getting paid. And then B, is because, you know, if you guys recall, last year, they got a lot of backlash behind that video. Like, people was not here for it at all. And, although allegedly they got paid off and, you know, Monroe got his trip to Jamaica, they got a lot of backlash, and I don't think they wanted to repeat that. So, and then of course, you know, Armon, he's trying to get on Fox Soul, so he's not trying to have his name attached to any type of scandals that ain't got nothing to do with him. And, you know, like some people were saying in my comment section, what do you expect for them to say? Like, they're not involved in any of this, and I mean, it is what it is. And that's a valid, you know, statement. So, as of now, they haven't said anything, but Larry did say that he's going to be doing an interview. He's got to fly out to LA, and he's going to be doing a sit-down interview with someone. He didn't say who the person is, but I'm willing to bet it's Armon. Armon is based out of LA, and I wouldn't be surprised if Monroe flies over there. And, you know, he participates in that particular interview, because if you guys know, when Storm was living here in Atlanta, Armon flew in from LA, and they met up in Monroe's apartment with Larry, and they did that sit down. So I wouldn't be surprised if Monroe flies over to LA and he is involved in that interview. But of course, Larry did not say who it was, so I'm just giving you guys my opinion on who it might be. And hopefully this time around, if Armon or Storm have anything to do with that interview, I hope that they press him this time around. Because at this point, I think it's just too much out there for them to try to defend him and windmill for him the way they did last year. It's very obvious that Conscious TV has either been paid off to speak up for Larry, or this is just merely him just being loyal and being biased because him and Larry has a personal relationship. And, you know, it just doesn't look good for Conscious TV. Like, I just really wish Conscious TV will wake up. I don't have anything against him personally. I just really wish he would wake up, because you can't defend this one. You know, I really think this one, he needs to sit this one out and let Larry fight his own battles. Because for one, Larry, and that's another thing, I'm like, well, you would think with Conscious, you know, doing the most when it comes to Larry, you would have thought that Larry would have gave him the exclusive interview, but he's been feeding him breadcrumbs. And it's interesting because, you know, the breadcrumbs that he's been receiving is incriminating Larry. Like, Larry has basically said out of his own mouth that, you know, he had dealings with Vincent, he had dealings with Lester. So it's like, how do you defend that? You know? And I get, you know, you're standing up for a friend, but child, even my friends, or even your friends, are going to, you know, hold you accountable for your wrongdoings. That's a real friend. I'm not that friend that's going to windmill for you right or wrong. Like, if you're wrong, you're wrong. Now, I'm not going to check you in public, but we're going to have private conversations. Like, I'm going to definitely get in your butt about it behind the scenes, no pun intended. But yeah, so I don't know. With this whole thing with Larry, I just feel like it's going to blow over. People are going to go on about their lives, and once again, there's going to be this selective group of people that's going to still support Larry, giving him money, give him their time and energy, and it's just what it is. But I do feel like God is going to, humble him if he's not doing it already. Because you can only get away with evil for so long. I know that it may seem like, people who are doing evil things out here are winning, but let me tell you something. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what demons is tormenting them behind the scenes. I know Larry is losing sleep behind all of this, right? And rightfully so, because that is an evil, sick man. And I'm going to keep saying that. That's an evil, sick man. And I don't give a damn if he sits with Storm, sits with Armon, CTB. He don't have enough people that's going to be able to make this go away, unfortunately. And he did it to himself. Because I feel like had he just would have admitted it, if he would have owned it and made it right, we would be having this conversation. Had he would have kept his mouth off Bishop T.D. Jakes in his situation, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it, The whole situation with Levante would have been a thing of the past, and it is what it is. Now, I will say this: his legacy, as we know it, is tainted. Like, I don't think that he's going to be able to survive this. I just don't think he would be able to, and it's just unfortunate because you have so many good people out here. You have so many great pastors and prophets that's really doing the Lord's work. That's not getting any shine. That's not getting any recognition. But you know what? God sees everything, and God will have the final say. And that's just what it's going to be. No matter what I say, no matter what anybody else say, y'all can call me a cloud chaser, you can call me a hater, call me what you want to call me. It is what it is. Now, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit on Storm Monroe. This is some tea. It's not really even tea. This is just a conversation that I had with someone that is very close to him. I'm not going to tell y'all who it is, but if you read between the lines, you know who I'm talking about. So what you guys did not know, me and this particular person who is close to Storm Monroe, at one point we had a business situation. I was helping him out with his business, and we was having a conversation. And, I was asking him, I was just like, we was talking about, I think Storm Monroe had just started his OnlyFans. And so at the time, Storm was not posting, any explicit content. It was supposed to be a platform in which he was going to introduce Storm After Dark. Initially, Love Jones was not his first choice. Okay. Although I do believe Love Jones is a great choice as a co-host for Storm Monroe. Although she over there thinking I don't like her, I actually do like Love Jones. I just think she's annoying sometimes. She was not his first choice. It was actually supposed to be somebody else. Well, anywho, we was having conversations one day. We was discussing, his direction with his business and stuff. And I asked him, I was like, how come you haven't been on Storm Monroe's platform as of recently? And this was about 2 years ago that I asked him this. And he was just basically like, honestly, I just feel like his subscribers are low vibrational, and I'm just trying I don't want to associate my business with him, which I thought was very odd because this person has been on Storm Monroe's platform multiple times up to this point. But at the time, there was some conversations. There were some content creators that were really digging into Storm's ass. Like, they were really out here gunning for Storm, and unfortunately, this person was linked into that situation, and he just didn't feel comfortable getting back on the platform because this person is not on YouTube. He's not a YouTuber. He's not a content creator at all when it comes to YouTube. And so, it kind of made him feel uneasy. Well, anyway, he was supposed to be Storm Monroe's co-host. They were supposed to do a podcast similar to how Storm had the podcast Storm did with Von Ray. As you guys know, Von Ray and Storm Monroe had a podcast that it didn't last long story short. And so Storm wanted to do Storm After Dark, as you guys know now, but for whatever reason it just didn't pan out. What was interesting about that conversation was that he said something on the lines of, Storm is very obsessed with my sexuality. Now this person is openly bisexual, okay? And he was just saying like, yeah, Storm is very obsessed with my sexuality. I don't know what it is. He's always asking me questions, and he just seems to always harp on my sexuality. Now, this is true when it comes to Storm, because Storm is the same person. When he interviewed T.S. Madison with Tasha K, he was asking T.S. Madison about her penis size. Now, if you know T.S. Madison, she was an adult content creator. She was an adult porn star before she got on YouTube. So I mean, it's common knowledge just how well endowed that she is, right? But he was asking her about her penis size, and he was just very vulgar. He was very intrigued about that. So I do believe that he's obsessive when it comes to other people's sexuality and just sexuality in general. And Storm Monroe has openly admitted that he is a freak. He's openly admitted that he's into orgies and going to sex clubs and going to swingers parties. And he even bragged on his OnlyFans that he had to cancel 2 orgies sessions, hence why he had been MIA on OnlyFans. And so and usually men like that, they I wouldn't say they're gay, but they get into a lot of freaky stuff. I'll just say that. Storm is obviously admitted that he's into voyeurism. He's into exhibitionism. So and I don't think he's gay. Like, I know everybody thinks that he's gay. I don't think he's gay. I just think that he plays it up because he thinks that gets him attention. I honestly think if Storm just be himself and stop caring about what people think about him, that people would take him more seriously. But he basically said like, yeah, Storm is very obsessed with my sexuality. And another reason why he said he didn't really want to do anything with Storm is because Storm is not consistent, which is what I told you guys, that Storm is not consistent. Even with the situation with Love Jones, like the show was supposed to be once a week, yet we haven't seen a show in almost 2 or 3 weeks now. I believe Storm was supposed to do a channel with the psychic lady. He was supposed to be going on her channel for twice a week, but for whatever reason that's not working out. That's not happening. So I don't know. I just thought it was very interesting that he would say that about Storm, and it wasn't nothing bad. Like he didn't speak any ill on Storm. He didn't try to insinuate anything about Storm's sexuality. If anything, he said Storm is very much straight to his knowledge. That he doesn't know of him ever partaking in homosexual activities. And for the most part, he's a good friend. He's a very supportive friend. But he did say that. He was just like, yeah, Storm seems to be very obsessed with my sexuality. And the reason why that particular podcast, that concept did not happen was because of what was going on at the time. And they just was not able to, it was just not able to happen. Which is unfortunate, because I do think they have better chemistry, and I do think that people would have taken this Storm After Dark situation more seriously. And I really wish Storm would have kept that particular podcast on OnlyFans and off YouTube, because it's just more fitting for him to do it on OnlyFans, right? But as of now, Love Jones is a co-host on that particular show, and I mean it's good for what it is. I do like the podcast. I do like that particular series, and I do hope they keep it up. But knowing Storm, he's just not consistent, and that's just unfortunate. That's part of his downfall. Because one thing I do admire about Armon, and I'm gonna get off these two. One thing I do admire about Armon, even though he bitched and moaned for years about how he felt like he should have been in Storm's position when it came to Tasha K being his mentor, being Storm mentor, he felt like that should have been him. But what I do respect about Armon is Armon was able to make a name for himself, and he was able to get it out of the mud on his own back. He didn't need anyone to help him get to where he is. And it's not to say that Storm didn't work hard to get to where he is, but I do feel like Storm got a heads up, and he was able to get, he had help early on, whereas Armon had to figure it out all by himself, and it paid off for him. And Armon has since been able to get off YouTube. He's currently on Fox Soul. He's worked with Jason Lee. He's done the red carpet. Like he's becoming a name. He's making a name for himself, and I really do believe Storm has that same potential. I just think Storm is not consistent, and Storm doesn't really have the personality that Armon has. And that's unfortunate, but never say never. I still think Storm has room to grow. I still think that Storm has room to be successful. I just think the Storm needs to be more authentic. This whole gay for pay thing is inauthentic, and it's just not doing what it's supposed to do. It's not giving what it's supposed to give, and people are just pretty much over it. They just even the salaciousness of his channel, where he has become. It's just so unfortunate, because like I said, his own friend basically said, like, the reason why I haven't been over there is because I just feel like his subscribers are low vibrational, and I don't want to be a part of that. And I just thought that was very interesting that he would say that, and I never repeated that until now. So maybe you guys will understand why I'm so hard on Storm the way I am, because this is not stuff that I'm just making up. This is stuff that I've heard firsthand from people that know him in real life. But anywho, so y'all wanted to hear my opinion about the situation with Larry Reid, and y'all wanted me to speak about Armon and Storm, so I did. Hopefully it was giving it what it was supposed to give. I know I'm going to get some backlash, but I don't care. Listen, this is a safe space. Even if you disagree with everything I said in this video, you are welcome to come over here and voice your opinions. And it is what it is. But anywho, I'm going to talk to y'all later. Make sure y'all hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Also join the Discord. And I'm going to talk to y'all later.